In Michigan, far-right local officials tried unsuccessfully to remove the Ottawa County Public Health Officer for 10 months. After failing in their endeavor, they decided to make her an offer she couldn't refuse. Well, she might refuse it. The offer is still on the table as of me recording this right now. The headline is that they offered Adeline Hambley $4.1 million to quit her job. Kind of. The Ottawa County Commissioners, backed by super right-wing PAC Ottawa Impact, were mad about COVID restrictions during the pandemic, so they voted to remove Hambley as public health officer, citing incompetence, neglect, and misconduct regarding speaking with the press about the county's budget.
Maybe I could ask for clarity from our administration. Is Ottawa Foods budget going away?
No, and nutrition and wellness is not going away either. That is not the case. There was a reduction, but that in no way, shape, or form reduced nutrition and wellness or Ottawa food. That is not the case.
So can we talk? We have Addie here. Do you understand what he's saying?
I don't,
Okay.
because the total budget requested for health education, nutrition and wellness was 800,000 and we have 400,000 funding. So that's
So,
48% is cut.
and we have latitude in deciding where that funding is going to be spent. So it is definitely not the case that it is definitely going to come at the expense of 100% cuts in nutrition and wellness. That decision has not been made. I'm thinking of more giving out condom cupcakes at GVSU, or teaching bartenders how to say no to a drunk drunk customer, which was literally explained just now. I'm not sure the taxpayers of Ottawa County will be happy with their money being spent on such things. And I'm sure Commissioner Bonema, you might agree with that. So it is not the case that just because there was a cut, that means nutrition and wellness is going away. We can decide what gets cut and what doesn't, but that decision has not been made yet.
So I'm just looking at the numbers. I'm a numbers guy, math, right? So we've got half as much money to work with to fund these two projects that are going on, health education and nutrition. We have families with children, elderly, that are relying upon these services that our tax dollars have been paid for. So I want to make sure that the citizens receive those benefits. So if we have half as much as we did before, why is that necessary? I understand the comment about the cupcakes. Yeah, okay, but that's not
Condom
really what we're talking.
cupcakes.
Condom cupcakes. Yeah, I understand that comment, but that's a minuscule amount of what we're talking about when we're talking about feeding families and children and elderly and the people that rely upon this program. So I'm advocating for answers for them, not necessarily the cupcakes, right? That's something that can be handled separately.
She sued for illegal termination. They countered and said that she was never properly appointed in the first place. The Michigan Court of Appeals said that she was properly appointed, but she could be fired given just cause. Late last month, Hambley testified that she spoke to the press regarding budgetary concerns because the commissioners suggested that the public health department would only be getting $2.5 million, which would have meant that the department would essentially have to close. While the department ended up getting $4.8 million by the end of things, it was still less than had been allocated the previous year. Now, the commissioners are offering Hambley a $4.1 million settlement, which would cover her legal fees and approximately 30 years worth of her $125,000 a year salary. One Republican commissioner on the board, who no longer aligns himself with Ottawa Impact, said that the settlement was, quote, a severe abuse of the taxpayers, who are now compelled to pay this exorbitant settlement to one person and get absolutely nothing in return. The speed at which this decision was made and the Ottawa Impact Commissioner's willingness to go along with this with no checks or balances is wholly irresponsible and begs the question, why? This isn't the first time Ottawa Impact has been a problem, though. The far-right Christian group was originally founded during the pandemic when it sued the Ottawa County Department of Public Health over mask mandates in schools. They didn't win the lawsuit, so they overtook the county leadership in the election cycles. The board currently only has one Democrat on it. They installed a Trumper as the county administrator and enacted a series of right-wing conservative measures. They've since been trying to replace Hambley with the husband of an anti-mask advocate. Now, residents in Ottawa County are rallying against Ottawa Impact, forming their own opposing political action committee. The Ottawa North Tri-Cities Action Committee says its purpose is to, quote, safeguard democratic processes, communicate factual information on issues relevant to local residents, promote responsible voting, and recommend local candidates. Karen Obitz, a member of the committee, says that she hopes residents of Ottawa County will see what happened when Ottawa Impact took over their local government and be more savvy as to the importance of local elections. She said, quote, the way I believe Ottawa Impact was able to make the inroads it did was because people were pretty much unaware of how local government is working on their behalf. She also said that with Ottawa Impact in control, the local commission seems to be more focused on national political issues rather than local ones. Another member, Cindy Spielmaker, worries that the commission is steering the county into a more conservative, read more Christian direction. She says, quote, they seem to have a lot of resentment over former COVID mandates and want to kind of impose the Christian nationalist aspect of things onto the community. Ottawa Impact itself confirms this. On its own website, it says that they, quote, recognize our nation's Judeo-Christian heritage and celebrate America as an exceptional nation blessed by God. With that comes all of the predictable Christian nationalist, right-wing, conservative political positions. They're pro-gun, they're anti-vax, they're anti-LGBT, and they believe that counties should be able to overrule state laws if the state laws aren't Christian. So as of me recording this, Adeline Hambley is still mulling over the $4.1 million settlement with her legal team. But for a county that's been so directly targeted and overrun with a right-wing agenda, there are mixed feelings there. If she stays defiantly in position, she's likely to be more busy fighting opposition than actually doing the job she's supposed to be doing. And she's likely to fight those fights at great personal cost to herself, to her family, and to her income. If she takes the $4.1 million and leaves, that'll be another position that a fringe right-wing group bullied into submission. The win here really is the PAC that emerged in opposition to Ottawa Impact. Hopefully, with their advocacy and public outreach, they'll be able to educate the public about local elections. Their task has likely been made easier by all of the national attention their county has received as a result of Ottawa Impact's localized actions, and I'm sure the residents are also feeling the direct impact of those actions. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out my podcast, Modern Context. In episode 7, which is out right now, we're talking about Thanksgiving, and it's a lot of fun. Thanks.